Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make sure this is working before. Ladies and beautiful. Right, I just thought I'd do a quick run through of the month-end process. There's a email going out tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Money Mail number 7, I think we're up to, and we're back to month end. So it is time to basically do your budget for next month and then review your financial position and calculate your net worth as such. And I've also included some statistics around the average net worth of New Zealanders, and you can have a little bit of a look and see where you fit. But don't get caught up in that and don't get disgruntled about where you're at. Remember, we're all on a different journey, different parts or stages of our life. And as I say in these emails, happiness should always be the thing that you're chasing more than some of the stupid things that people chase to try and make themselves happy, including money. So be careful when comparing yourselves to others is my message there. But I've also updated the tools and templates, which you'll have a link to. These are all free for you to use, and people have access to them in the Keep the Change community as well. But I know some people will probably head down the path of starting a business. So there's a cash flow for business owners in there that you can use, and accountants will charge you thousands of dollars to help you prepare those, including myself. So that will hopefully come in handy for some of you. There's also a profit and loss statement for a rental, which should say rental, but obviously my spelling and grammar isn't my strong point, and I'll work on that throughout the rest of my life. But if you do end up getting a rental property, you'll need to track your income and your expenses, and there is a template for you to download and do that as well, because I'm a nice guy, so I'll need to update this how to use tool. But if we jump into our financial position, as we know, the goals are in the front sheet, so you need to go through there and figure out what your goal is for the next 30 days and tick off some of the things that you've been trying to achieve, and then set longer goals for 90 days, 1 year, 5 years, and beyond. So you want to list down the things that you have been doing. I've just put some examples down here: moving bonus bonds over to Sharesies and saving 40% of your income. That's a pretty bloody tough one, but there's a whole subject about that to come later on. But things like paying off your credit card and just reviewing your KiwiSaver and the fees that they're charging and things like that. So that's your goals, and then hopefully you would have had to play around with the income and then all of your expenses underneath that. So all these things can be changed, like the Money Mail 2 taught you. So you really want to update this so that it's in line with how you need to do your budget. And these figures are of course, made up, and you can pull them out. But basically, it's designed to show you what you have left over in each of the weeks of the month when you get paid. So you might get paid fortnightly, so you need to change that, make it your own, and it'll tell you basically down here, if you start with $0, well, by the time you've paid all of those expenses up there and had your $5,000 come in, you're going to be left with $3,589. That'll carry forward to the next week, and you'll spend another $750, left with $2,800. So it basically tracks whether you're going to end up with no money before you next get paid, and you're overspending there. So then you need to go back and figure out how you can fix that through these figures, or how you can increase your income. So that's up to you to figure out. But there's also a credit card in here where you can basically add your credit card, and it'll decrease the balance as you make payments there. But again, like I say, this is very, very simple. It's designed to be simple to allow you to make it your own. But now this is the piece that we'll talk about in the email tomorrow. The financial position is the thing that I think is missed massively out of the education system around money. This is something that businesses do. They have to report on every year, and businesses will do this every month for a sophisticated business. And you're basically tracking your total assets and your total liabilities, and then working out what your assets minus your liabilities is, and that is your net worth. So I've summarized some of these for a speech I've got to give, but in 2018, Statistics New Zealand said that there were 32,000 people who were in the red by more than 100 grand. So that means that people owed more than $100,000. So they have a negative net worth. there are 400,000 people with between negative 100,000 and $0. So again, a negative net worth. And you might fit into that category, but like I said at the start of this video, don't compare yourself to other people and think the world is over, but use this as a guide to just sort of see where you fit. And of course, the goal is to try and increase it over time. So it's not a pass or fail metric. It is what can you do to increase your net worth over time and better yourself and your financial freedom and situation, and actually get out of the rut as such. So then we go to 1.5 million Kiwis sit between $0 and $100,000. So basically that's close to 2 million Kiwis have either negative net worth or up to $100,000. So that may surprise some of you, or maybe not. But as we increase KiwiSaver as a nation, that will become a bigger figure. And then 400,000 people between 100 and 200,000. So you can see that's a big chunk of the population there, and then it goes on from there and there. But that's the bulk of Kiwis. But what you want to do is you want to go through at the end of each month and start to build a process for yourself and actually work through doing this, because it is going to help you to keep an eye on your net worth and make sure that you're actually tracking in the right direction and not going backwards. So you want to list the assets that you do have back over here and what those values are, and hopefully those are increasing as you're saving more money. You might be putting it into your KiwiSaver and your cash and term deposits and things like that, or sharesies and whatever it is that you're stacking up in terms of assets. And some people will also include their life insurance as well. So say you're insured for $200,000 if you die. Well, you know that basically when you die through trauma or an accident, for instance, then you're actually going to get paid $200,000 to your estate, which will then flow through to the people that depend on you, etc., depending on how all of that's set up. So there's probably a whole subject in that at some stage, but that's effectively can be classified as an asset to you. Now, we'll take that out, but some people like to include it, but it's only really applicable if you do have that. So then you want to list all your loans and all the things you do owe in terms of money to people. So it might be Q cards and credit cards and gem visas and your afterpays and some personal loans, and that will total up your total liabilities. And this line will work out your assets up here minus your liabilities. And of course, a lot of people in New Zealand have a home, then they have the mortgage against their home, and they have a net worth on paper that is driven by the value of the gain of that property as such as it goes up over time. So that is that may be you or it may not be you, but that is how traditionally a lot of Kiwis will build a net worth that gets them out of the probably the 50% of New Zealand that sit down here between 100 and 200. But these can all be changed, of course, but the idea is that basically you are actually doing this monthly, and you want to set a reminder in your calendar so that you go through and actually do this, because it will help you. And you can guarantee that if you go to the bank and you say that you want some borrowing or you want to buy a home, they will say, well, we want to see a personal financial position. And most people say, I don't know what you're talking about, but they go, yeah. But you'll be like, yeah, no worries. Flick it straight over to you. So you'll be a million steps ahead and have been educating yourself. So go you, good stuff. Hopefully that is, well, I know it's useful for you. Really, it is up to the individual to, oopsies, what did I do there? To be able to use it to their advantage and do that consistently. So I will leave you with that, and 9 a.m. tomorrow, you'll have Money Mail 7 in your inbox around this process and just stepping it out through some instructions. So here's a bit of a video demonstration. I will speak to you tomorrow morning.